listening to Cashin Up with Big Wig LTD.
What up? It's the Whale Scale Big Wig, all about his business, you feel me? The Fat Cat, aka the Reno Ace. And I'm sitting here with the Hot Fox, xorikka, you know what I'm saying? And it's motherfucking episode 10.
I know.
What the fuck?
Hell?
That's crazy.
I'm very proud of you. That's exciting.
It is exciting. It's dope. I didn't even realize it was episode 10 when we booked this, but I was like, let's
I know
go.
you just told me and I was like, damn, that's what happens when you just keep going, all of a sudden it's like, yeah.
It's been a minute, but you know, I almost forgot my intro, but yeah. So
since the last episode?
Yeah. It's been like a month or something.
But you've been doing a lot of other shit, so.
Yeah, I've been trying. I've been
kudos
getting
to you
in,
for that.
I
love it.
Yeah, we got stuff on the way, you know what I'm saying? But you know, I'm more interested, how are you doing?
Well, it's Gemini season, so, and it's June Gemini season. There's a difference, okay? You got your May Geminis, they're whatever. And then you got your June Geminis. Hello. So it's in full effect.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm. But I've been good. I feel like every time someone asks this question, I'm just curious if I'm ever going to come to a point where I'm just like, I'm good and I really mean it. Or it's like, there's so much, you know, like I don't want to just be like, yeah, everything's fine. Like blah, blah, blah. It is like, I am fine. But I mean, there's just so much going on. So I feel like since the last time we talked, I've pretty much have felt every emotion possible, but we've had a few, we went through like retrograde in April, and that was very interesting. Yeah. And then there's, been a few moon cycles that have also been insane. So, but I'm chilling now. So
yeah. So go into that. Like what has been going on in your world and all that?
I think I've really just been working on staying consistent with like rest and recovery, and then being able to like stay there, because I'm like go like every aspect of my life, when it comes to my family, when it comes to work, and then everything else I'm doing, so my yoga, like keeping up with stuff like this, and just really getting to a point where it's like, oh my God, I need to work on my self-discipline, my time management. But when that happens, when you're completely like overwhelmed with a bunch of shit, you just keep going. It's like, okay, let me see where I can squeeze this in. And like I'm a yes man. Like I want to say yes to everything and to everyone when that's just not realistic.
That's why you gotta start charging.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's what my shit's at. They're like, hey, you want to get down? I'm like, well, I charge for my time. If you want me for that specific thing, I charge for that now because it's like high demand or whatever. Yeah. So it's like,
I feel you.
That can help balance your like what you say yes and no to.
Yeah, very true. But I'm not going to charge, my family when they need a favor.
You should, though.
And I got a big ass family. So there's that. But no, I hear you there too. How much are you paying me for this?
Hey, no comment.
What about you though? Tell me how you've been.
I've been really good. I've been on my discipline shit, been on my diet shit, been on my gym stuff. I've been going to the gym every day pretty much. But then I'm getting older, so I gotta listen to my body. I can't just like go in like I'm 20, and I gotta go in like I'm fucking my age and shit.
I feel you.
So like I gotta listen to my body more instead of just like being like, oh, I gotta get through it or whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I want to just be smarter. Because like when I hurt my knee or whatever, that was like the breaking point where I was like, okay.
Yeah, like I need to figure this
out.
out.
I got a little depressed, not gonna lie. There's a lot of sleep during that time. Yeah. I was just like, fuck it.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like it's one spectrum of the other, and that's what I struggle with is I'm either like flooring it, go, or I'm just like chilling. Right. And that's literally like a weekly basis. Like I have a 9 to 5, so that's like pretty much the only set schedule I have, and teaching yoga, and so I'm grateful that I have that discipline in my life, but it's just outside of that, there's a lot of organization that needs to be implemented.
Heard that. Yeah, I heard that.
Because, and so with that being said, I think I came to a point like just a couple weeks ago where I was like, oh my God, like I really need to just focus on like what keeps me grounded, like what's going to bring me peace and keep that, you know, and bring that into my life, because if not, it's just like round in circles. But
right. Yeah. So I think, just like I've been sober for like 4 months off my problem substances, I would call them.
Yeah. Congrats, 4 months.
Yeah, it's pretty major. Albie's always like, you know, he's like 4 months. You ain't sober till you're like 4 months sober. Then you like kind of change. So like my hurdle was like 2 months. I kept like fucking up like at like 2 month mark. And then like after that though, it was like got easier. I have like way less cravings. And like if I get into like a stressful situation, I will just like, you know, deal with it instead of like, I want to get high, man, and like forget about it. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah, you have to sit with yourself when you hit those moments, you know? And I think like being able to eliminate distractions and actually like zone in on the healing. Because what happens is we're like, oh, I'm just going to stay busy. Like sometimes we make these decisions unconsciously, you know? And like I said, I'm like, oh yeah. Like I want to say yes to everyone. Yes to my friends. Yes to my family. Yes to work and projects. And really it's like, what am I doing though that's actually fulfilling me? And I'm just continuously distracted, you know, rather than just like sitting with myself and being like, okay, what do I actually need for my rest and recovery and to heal, you know, because that's a continuous journey. So
yeah, rest is so important, especially now. I'm just like, I'm really trying to prioritize it. It's just hard. So it's like, I'm like, can't drink coffee past a certain time, because then it makes it really hard to go to sleep. And I'm like, dude, really can't handle some coffee now? You little bitch.
No,
like you were fucking doing all kinds of shit. Now you can handle some caffeine, dog.
Yeah, but like you said, you're listening to your body, so you know this. Sleep is an area of opportunity for me, 100%.
Yeah,
I'm a night owl, like at heart. So I can get up at 5 a.m, but I'm going to be up until like 12 or 1, you know, regardless. And that's like, at that point, I'm just like, oh, I should go to bed. Like, I'm not going to sleep. So I'm like, I'm exhausted, depending on the day, but you know what I mean? So like working that early in the morning and then having things to do afterwards. Like I got to fit sleep in here somewhere. So
your sleep will get punked if you let it, you know?
Yeah.
Cause like who wants to sleep? Not me.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, when you got shit to do, like when you actually have things you want to get done, you're like, I can push it.
Yeah.
But then you're not delivering at full capacity. Yeah. So again, that's where it just comes back to having that balance.
That's what I've learned is just like, you know what? I don't operate at my best when I'm fucking hella sleep deprived. Yeah. And there's just like low key, I feel like, I think I read somewhere it's like you're drunk if you don't get like a good amount of sleep.
Dude, that is no lie, because literally I've been out and about and like my head starts feeling, you know, I'm lightheaded. It's a slight headache. Like my eyes are burning. I feel like it's more like a hangover. It's not like I'm drunk. I'm just like, I have had no sleep and I can feel it right now.
I will feel drunk because I'll start fucking hitting people up and I'm like, yo, it's fucking great, dude.
Oh, you're like, getting delirious at I'm like that
delirious. Yeah, that's where I get with it. My dumb ass. I hate it.
But I feel you. I just been honestly trying to like heal in a respectful manner more than like, you know, if I'm not sleeping, if I'm not taking the time to do the things that are going to bring me peace, like I'm spreading pain everywhere I go, you know, I'm putting that onto other people and I'm like, I don't want to be like that. So I think that's been something that's been in the forefront of my mind these past couple months too, since we last spoke, was just like, I got to take care of me. I got to figure out like what it is that I need right now, because ultimately if I'm not at my best, I'm not going to be able to put that out there, you know? And so...
Was there like a specific situation that made you think like, dude, I shouldn't be like that? Or like, you know, like that really hurt whoever's feelings? And like, would you want to go into that?
Yeah. So I think I got involved with someone who was like, not ready for all that, right? Not ready for all this. And it was just like that showed me like, okay, hurt people are gonna hurt people. And I didn't see that until after everything was over.
Right.
Because of like the aftermath of me just being like, okay, so now I'm by myself and I need to figure out like where I'm gonna go from here. And so I feel as though what that made me look internally was for like my purpose of, what am I trying to say here? Hold on. Let me retract a little bit.
Take your time.
Yeah.
Take all the time.
So basically, I feel that situation made me realize that hurt people are going to hurt people. Mm-hmm. So I just kept going. I was distracting myself rather than healing, rather than like, okay, I'm going to like recluse for a little bit, like let me go ahead and work through this. And instead, like I just started working more, like I was working out more, I was hanging out more, I was fucking around more. And then I got involved with someone and ended up like hurting their feelings. You know what I mean? So it's just like, it made me like look at this circle of like, okay, if I'm not willing to put in the work for myself, like I can't for anyone else. Like there's nothing that I can do for anyone else. Like your feelings are not going to matter to me if my feelings don't matter to me, you know? And not just like relationship as in like dating someone, but this goes for your relationship, you know, with your kids, with your parents, with your siblings, with your friendships. Like it was getting to a point where someone would call me and I mean, I like to think that I'm the go-to. You can call me at any point and I'm going to be there. I'm going to listen. Like, I'm going to try to give you like all the best advice that I can. But it was getting to the point where like, I was like zoning out. People were like calling me and like telling me all the shit that was happening. And I was like, oh fuck. Like when it was silence, I'm like, what? Cause I couldn't even like take other people's feelings into consideration, you know, just because of like how numb I was becoming. And that was just from me, like not taking the time of like, okay, I've been hurt and now I need to step back and sit with myself, you know? And I wasn't. I was just like going. Yeah. So.
And you can't fake that, right? You have to actually do the work and like, so like what is some things that maybe you have some like tips for someone like me who's, you know, doesn't want to do the work, tries, but maybe not know where to start?
You know, I think honestly, like it just starts with being aware. And it sounds like you are, you know, like, you know, there's some shit that you have to handle or take care of. But as soon as you know, I think what gets difficult is that you're aware, so you can't ignore it anymore. And so at that point, you have to dig into the things that bring you peace. You know, for me, that's going to be what I've talked about a million times over on here. That's going to be like my journaling, you know, those are going to be like practicing my affirmations, yoga, meditation. And these are things that I should be doing on the daily. And when I'm not doing them, then it goes into like, first of all, like I'll go a couple of days and it's like, whatever. And then I feel like shit all of a sudden. I'm like, why? And it's like, oh, because I'm not doing my best practices, you know, that are going to bring me my zen, and keep me on track. So honestly, it's going to be different for everybody. I mean, maybe for you, that's spending some time like in the studio and not on the side of production, but on the side of creativity, you know? So when you veer from that, you're going to start to see like you just keep circling back, you know? I want to be like, I think that life should be like linear. When you get into a cycle, it's when you become depressed, when you become anxious, you know? And I've been through so many cycles and different phases in my life. And the one that I had found myself in, like currently still working through, is that like rest and recovery and being consistent, like with the things that are going to bring me peace of mind, you know? And I'll do it, but then I fall off. When it comes to that, you can't beat yourself up, because then I find myself like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you being productive? You know, like you shouldn't have sat there and Netflix and chilled for 3 hours. Like you should have been doing this. And that becomes, you know, you're talking ill to yourself, you know, and
bad self-talk. Yeah,
exactly. So honestly, like, it can be a lot, but if you're just like stepping out of it and maybe becoming the observer of your actions at that point, you know, I think just being aware, being observant, and then you know what makes you happy, like ultimately fulfilled,
Yeah.
you know? And if you don't, like explore that. Start asking yourself, like, what do I need that's going to bring me peace of mind?
Right. For me, I think the consistency thing is major. If you have, even if you like fall off for, like sometimes the best thing you can do is like watch Netflix for 3 hours. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like sometimes you need that break. So I've been low key taking a break from going so hard on everything because it's just like a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've just been like slowing it down a little bit, like going back to like my old pace a little bit, just because like, you know, we're figuring out all other shit out, whatever. You know, there's more priority to like my health and shit like that, as opposed to like my content, my music and shit like that. You know,
which is a good thing because you have been like going very hard, and then you don't want to reach that burnout. You know?
I've been super trying to duck the burnout for sure. Like,
and I think trying to find that, like you said, working on your health, like, and that may look like just eating better for some people. You know, like finding a healthier balance there, like with working out, whatever it is. But yeah, you just got to start seeing. And I hear you on that one. Like maybe you do need a day to veg. And I think that is important. But like I was saying earlier, if you're finding yourself falling on like one side of the spectrum or the other, you know, to where like you're constantly like teeter-tottering back and forth and like trying to find that happy medium. I mean, that takes so much time and consistency.
Yeah, totally.
And that's okay, you know? So I think it's just really like not beating yourself up about it.
Totally.
So that's what I was doing. And then after that, I was just like feeling completely numb, just like not wanting to express my feelings anymore, like not wanting to talk about my issues, not to my friends, you know. I didn't want to share anything like intimate with anyone, just because it was like, I didn't take that time to tap in and be like, okay, like I was hurt and that's okay. Like, that's okay, sweetheart. Like, what are you going to do now? You know, instead it was like, okay, like I'm gonna just keep it pushing. So
yeah, you said that you have, I feel like I do too, just like a hard time for me expressing your emotions or your feelings to others, even people that may like deserve it or whatever, like an explanation. I'm the type to be like, I don't explain shit to nobody. I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm me. And you know, so like I'm kind of like that, but
I've always been the opposite of that.
Really?
I've always been like, I say too much. I'm just like expressing myself, you know, whether that's to my partner or to a friend, you know, to whoever. I'm like, and then I walk away and I'm like, oh my God, like I just said like way too much. So for me to turn around and like this year come to a point where I was like, no, I just like, I don't know what to say anymore. Like, I'm just going to leave it there, you know, and not want to. Like, well, actually, I have found myself in a couple situations where I want to express my feelings, but I can't. I'm just like,
How come?
I think for like fear of being hurt or not being understood. So these are all like new things for me right now. And so currently, like, I feel like I'm getting out of that wave. Like, it was like more of a dip. And then now I'm like, I'm riding the wave now. And, you know, because I'm aware, like, you can't be jaded due to something that's happened, you know, or something that didn't happen, you know. And so, yeah, I mean, so it's been strange to get to a point where I'm just like, I'm gonna just keep like my feelings and my thoughts to myself. And I think to an extent, like, that's a good thing. Yeah, totally. Because I don't want to share everything with everyone. Yeah. And a lot of the time, like, you know, I don't want to say a lot of the time, but, you know, there's definitely it's a lot of the time that people don't deserve to know, like, what it is that I actually feel and stuff. So, yeah. So I'm still trying to work on that and, like, feel safe expressing my emotions.
Like, even, you know, you and me had a situation where, like, I kind of fucked that up between you and I. Like, you're like, I don't feel safe with, like, expressing certain emotions to you at this point, you know? Yeah. And, you know, I don't know. Do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. I want to talk some shit today, dude.
Okay, let's go.
I'm like, throw the notes out of here. But
I don't know. So how would we talk about that? Like,
well, we had a tiff. You got upset. You got upset because somebody who's a mutual friend of ours, or was a mutual friend.
I wouldn't call her a mutual friend, but yes.
Okay. Do you want to say your side of why you got upset? You explain how you got upset, so I can let you know.
Yeah. So I think if I remember correctly, we brought homegirl over, right, to help us with I think it was the Santa stuff.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And then later that night, some dudes came by or something, right? And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It was 3 a.m. or some shit, and dudes were banging on my door, right?
Yeah, so that sounds terrible. But what had happened was addresses got mixed up because she had helped me with a couple things that day. So I sent her my address. She was sent your address. And then later that evening, she wanted to do whatever she wanted to do. Right. Your address ended up being sent to some fucking randos, which was out of my control. This was somebody else who did it, right? It's our mutual friend who did this. And then in turn, your reaction was...
To your friend. My reaction was to call and bang on you.
Yeah.
Like it was your fault specifically. Mm-hmm. And, so that was kind of a big thing for me as far as just because you know how we are.
Well, I want to explain that a little more because I feel like we went more into depth about what happened. So we know what happened, right? Yeah. So, and I agree that was completely wrong. What the fuck? I don't even send people my actual address because I don't trust anybody. Right, totally. But, so what happened was you started hitting me up what the fuck, blah, blah, blah. Why is this going on? Knew I shouldn't have, yada, yada, and you should have this or whatever. Yeah. So it was a whole ass thing. And I was like, what's going on? Yeah. I didn't even know what was going on. I wasn't even with her. Right. So I was so confused. And then ultimately I'm trying to respond to you and my messages are turning green. So you know what that means. I'm blocked.
That's what that means? Oh, shit.
Well, if you both have an iPhone and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, hell no. And then I call and my calls are going straight to voicemail.
Yeah.
So...
That's what I'm saying too. We're quick to do that though. We're both fuck you then. I'm good. We're just for me, that was a thing I do where I'm just I've cut people off for fucking whatever. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So
or less. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but when I did that and I had some time to reflect for I think I was pretty quick to hit you back.
You were really quick to hit me back about that, which is why the whole point of us sharing this story is that it came to a point where I was like, you wanted to chat and I was like, I'm not ready to talk. I don't want to talk about this, And honestly, I think that and some other shit, because this was December of last year, shortly after we had recorded the first pod, I had a whole nother situation with a different friend. Yeah. And it was what the fuck? I had felt like people were just running through my feelings, walking all over me. And it was I probably wear my feelings on my sleeve, to a fault. So it was that situation specifically, was the cherry on top of all these other things that were building up to it, you know? And that's what got me to a point of I can't talk about this. I don't want to talk about this because I feel like I've expressed my feelings so much and so often to so many people that it was just I got to take a step back. Why do I keep getting fucked over? But I'm obviously now we've talked through it and blah, blah, blah. But those were the thoughts in my head at the time,
totally, Totally. Well, I appreciate you for even hearing me out. Cause like I said, how we are, we'll be fuck you. Yeah. I ain't trying to hear you out. You know
I'm not like that.
I'm like that.
I will hear. Yeah. So
I'll be
yeah, you're no. That's the thing is I'm not. And now I'm starting to be, and I'm trying to like I said, not be jaded, because it's you can respectfully have your boundaries and just be you know what, you fucked me over. I think I'm done with you, and instead I was just continuously trust and trust and trust. And I was giving trust rather than people earning it, Sure. And so I think when you do that as well, you kind of set yourself up for to be fucked over.
Fucking A. Yeah. I've had some recent stuff where I'm usually don't do this, but I've been on some like, fuck it.
Well, I think to like help avoid those situations, what you can do is just like take things slower, you know, in general. Like that's the thing, you know, we become like, you meet someone and let's, you know, use a friendship, for example, and meet a girl in a bathroom. We're drunk in love. We're exchanging Instagrams. And now it's like, let's kick it. Want to hang out all the time. Yeah. And I've had this happen. And then it's like, you don't even know each other. You know what I mean? And in a relationship wise, like you meet someone, you guys both are vibing, you're bonding, and just simply because you get along with someone and you're physically attracted to them, all of a sudden it's like, oh, like your whole life with them flashes before your eyes. Or at least I've had that situation because I'm a fucking lover over here. Yeah. But on the flip side of that, it's just like you really at that point when you realize like, oh, I this could be something with this person, you should start asking more questions and probably slow it the fuck down, you know?
What if they don't like the questions you ask?
Well, then you start listening to the red flags.
Like, why are you getting so defensive about this question, though? Because it's just a legitimate question, you know?
But that's good because it starts to like unveil really what's underneath the surface.
So how do you feel, how do you tell the difference between someone just running game and then do you play along with the game? Like, cause I've been on some shit where I'm like, fuck it, I'll play your fucking weird ass game just to be entertained. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, not even that I'm really gonna do what I'm saying cause you're fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying? But
there's so much
I'll give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? But like, I don't know if I could execute like that. You're fucking asking me to do some crazy shit. Yeah. But I might like be like, fuck it, I'll play the game a little bit just to see what's good. Maybe see what happens in real life type shit. I don't know. Do you? And it's like, cause I get told a lot like, you know, oh my God, I love you so much, whatever. And all these positive things. Right. And then it's like, but sometimes the actions don't add up with that. So I'm like, well, if you really mean that.
Yeah. You know then back it up. So first of all, talk is fucking cheap. Like you can tell me everything under the sun. Like go ahead, you know, and this point I would like never want to be the version of myself like 5 years ago again. I'm so glad that like I'm happy with the growth that I've made, you know, and the wisdom that I have now, because prior like words were everything, you know, and you think about like what the 5 love languages, isn't like words of affirmation one of them? Yes. Like people love that shit. And for me, I'm like, it is nice, but because I've had people tell me things my entire life, and, oh, I'm in love with you, I love you, or you're the whatever, right? All these things.
What is love?
What is love? Okay, so, and now I'm just like, ew, like, please don't tell me that. Like, just show me, you know? So your question was, how do you know the difference between someone running game and like being truthful? I think that...
What if they're just actions or just running game too? What if they're just pulling up with all the actions too, but they're really not feeling like that?
I think typically people who can back their action up with their words, from my experience, like will be upfront with you with what they're looking for. Yeah. Because they can back it up. You know? So a lot of the time I think a red flag for that is somebody who just talks. So that right there is going to tell you like, is this fool just running game? Yeah. You know, but at this point too, it's a fucking vibe. Like you have to be self-aware, you know? And so if you are confused, like, and you're finding yourself in a position where you don't know if someone's being truthful or not, then maybe you should start asking yourself questions, you know, and start thinking about what is it that I'm looking for in someone? What is it that I want someone to bring to the table? What makes me comfortable and what makes me uncomfortable? Right. You know, because if you're not aware of those things, anyone's going to come through and use you pretty much, you know? And if you're just looking to be loved or not even loved, if you're just looking to have attention, then anyone's going to come up and play their game, you know? So it's a loaded question.
I don't know. The game is fun. All's fair in love and seduction. Yeah, but
and you gotta think too, like, yeah, exactly. Like, do you want to play the game? Because you can. I mean,
yeah,
it's fun.
I just been on some fun shit. Like, yeah, I'll play.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'll play the game.
Yeah,
and just see where it goes. But like, you know,
but
I just been having fun with it.
But here's the thing: when you start playing the game, then you have other people's feelings involved. So
they're fucking playing games though.
So just so we're being clear, like to everyone, we are talking at this point about relationships. So if you're dating someone,
yeah, for sure.
Right. So here's my thing: is I want to be a fucking player, and I want to be like, I don't care, and blah blah blah, because of how many times I've been hurt because I've expressed my emotions and because I've been vulnerable. And so, like I said earlier, now I'm trying to find this happy balance about like how do I like not become jaded and respectfully create boundaries,
right? And
be like, no, you stepped over that. Like, I'm gonna cut you off respectfully, right?
Respectfully, fuck you, bro.
So, and then I've also tried to like, okay, let me play the game. So for me, that's been difficult because then I care so much about how somebody else feels. And if I know that I'm hurting somebody else, I can't. Like, that's where I'm like, ugh, like, how do I get out? Like, I'm like treading lightly backwards. I'm like, okay, how do I get out of this now? Like, oh, this person actually has feelings and like, I can't.
Don't be falling in love, fool.
Yeah.
Don't be falling in love with me, bro.
So it really depends because you got to think what you're looking for as well.
Right. So like dating in this day and age, do you do the app thing? Do you just meet people in real life? Like,
I meet people in real life.
Nice.
I have never had like a Tinder or a Hinge. I made a cheese spa for like a week. Okay. I was looking for a fine ass Latino. Where my Latinos at? So, and then, yeah, so that's like, I can't, like, it mostly was a joke because my girls and I were all like, okay, I'm gonna get this and we'll see what's up. And we took a little trip. Didn't meet anyone on there successfully, which was fine with me because that's another thing. Then I'm just like freaked out about being like catfished.
Right.
So totally. I think nowadays, like, it's great. I've seen relationships blossom literally from Tinder, you know. Yeah. And I've seen them fail. And obviously I've heard tons of stories about one night stands. So again, it's like, what are you looking for? But for me, I prefer to meet someone in real life.
Yeah, same. I like the feeling, the energy. I got to like the last screen on Facebook dating and I'm like, I just can't. Yeah,
that I have no idea about that. I've only ever heard about that word of mouth.
Facebook
like
dating?
I've never seen it. I never seen the app.
It's like the middle. It's like the middle button now on the app.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
dude, they're not playing.
They're not playing. They're trying to get this bread off of your fucking feelings.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we got them in their feelings. Charge them.
We got them in their feels. But you know, if you do start dating someone, my advice to you is just take it slow. As soon as you start feeling like I might like this person or I'm attracted to this person, like
don't talk to him.
Like literally start asking other questions. Like slow it down because what happens is we go like, you know, pedal to the metal, and then like once you're past that lust stage and shit gets real, it's like, do I really want to be in the mix of all of this, you know? And that's something I'm glad that I've asked myself now, because I used to not. I'm just like, oh, your shit, that's mine now too. Your problems are mine now too. And now I'm just like, you need to figure your fucking shit out. Like, I already got enough going on here.
Yeah, I feel like I'm like, dude, don't do it again. Don't do it again. Yeah. Do not do that shit again.
Stop it.
You have a predisposition to this situation. Please don't. Yeah. For the love of God, don't do it again.
That's what we were talking about the other day. It was just like, now that we've been around the block a few times, like we actually have the knowledge to know better. So, you know, at some point it's like,
but it's hard, right?
It's very hard.
Because you're like, I'm like, yeah, I do fuck with her, but there's these things that I'm like, oh, yeah, fucking flag. You know, but she's dope.
Honestly,
too.
The pros and cons list, like, always works. Grabbing a pros and cons list, okay, whether that's mentally or on paper, you need to do it. So if you're having all these red flags, because now you're aware, now you know, you're no longer this little naive fucking 20-year-old, you know, like, you know what the fuck is up mentally, like, what would be good about this relationship, and do I see a fucking future? And if you don't, turn the fuck around and walk away. And that's what's actually hard, because you'll hit that point where you're like,
we got some bomb ass pussy.
I don't know, but I'm gonna just see where it goes. Or like, just for now. And it's like, okay, are you looking for a just for now? Or are you looking for longevity? So that, like, these are the questions you have to ask, you know? And it just, like, I have found myself like, fuck it, I'm gonna circle back around to this, right? Because I love getting stuck in these fucking cycles, and that gets hard, because ultimately, when you are ignoring like your higher self, bruh, you really just like,
yourself, bruh. It
hurts, like, because then when you're alone and you do decide to sit with yourself, like, you know you're fucking up. And it's not your parents calling you out on it, right? It's not your best friend calling you out on it. Like, now you're calling yourself out. And it's just like, how do you want to feel? Like, notice how you feel with someone when you're with them and when you guys separate. Like, where's your energy level at? Like, do you feel, you know, great? Are you walking on sunshine? Or are you anxious? You know, are you stressed out? Are you just like, couldn't wait to get the fuck out of there? Like,
and what about that? Like, what if you are walking on sunshine, but you feel that you're not being reciprocated the sunshine walking, you know?
Well, then take your happy ass the other way again.
Right.
Like, the thing is, a lot of the times, like, you already know, you know. Yeah. So like, you can sit here and walk yourself through all these questions. I think it's super important.
Right.
But if you're already self-aware and you've put in a lot of work and like, you feel good about where you are with yourself, then you're going to know pretty fucking quick when you start interacting with someone, like, whether or not they fuck with you the same way,
right,
or whether or not like this is going to be good. Because y'all can reciprocate back and forth, but still, it's either going to lean more on like, this is someone I can see a future with, or this is someone like, fuck, like, this feels good now, but will it later? Yeah, like, and then you're in too deep, you know? Dude. And it's trying to step out of that when you're already like.
So how do you slow it down? Do you just like, when you go about slowing down with someone, how do you like pump the brakes? What do you do? What are some tips you could give fly gentlemen such as myself?
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure that out. Usually it's just like, okay, we're done. like you're
just like, nope.
That's why I'm emphasizing how important it is to take it slow from the beginning. You know, like.
So what does it mean to take it slow exactly?
So I would just like avoiding the intimate things. Like, it's not just having sex with someone. Like, what's intimate is, you know, sharing a meal together. What's intimate is
taking a shower
together. Exactly. Like,
looking in each other's eyes,
literally gazing into each other's eyes. And it's not like you're going to be dodging these things, because it'll happen naturally. You know, for the most part, the first thing people want to do is take you out on a date and you're going to share a meal. Cool. But when you start going over to that person's house and you're cooking together, like, you're fucked. You're about to be in love, okay? Like, that's something else. You're sharing each other's space, like, you're sharing energy, you know, and like, and that's what I've realized anyways. Yeah. And so now it's more so like, I don't want to share these intimate moments with people who don't fucking matter. Like, who really aren't going to matter in the next 3 months, 6 months to a year. Yeah. So again, it depends, like, what are you looking for? Right. Slowing it down, I think, is so hard. Slowing it down is so much harder than taking it slow from the beginning.
Fucking facts.
Yeah. So ultimately, if you've learned this lesson already, don't force the universe to teach you another fucking lesson of the same shit. You know, you've been fucked over. You've seen all the red flags. Yeah. Listen to them. Stop ignoring them.
But it's so fun.
See, you're out here to play. Like, that's why.
I'm just having a good time.
You're running games out here. I love it. You're such a fucking hoe. I love it.
I am not.
Aw. Hey, didn't I ask you back in February, I was like, where are all the hoes at?
I don't got no hoes.
Oh, we still don't got no hoes. Okay. Who's reserved now, bitch? Oh my.
I mean, I may or may not have hoes.
Same. And I still stand to these hoes not being loyal.
Right. That's a definite. They might say they are though, but you know, that remains to be seen. Also, I love these hoes.
Be careful, because once you're vulnerable, you can't come back. That's another thing. That's what we were talking about, like how to slow shit down.
Yeah.
That goes right hand in hand. I think. Yeah. Once you've opened yourself up and flowered for somebody, okay. Once you show that vulnerability, bruh, like there's no coming back.
Yeah. So I've been really vulnerable with this girl, and I don't know what the fuck. I think it was the sleep deprivation. Mm-hmm. Why I was so like open with her, but we were talking about some fucking crazy ass shit. I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just be upfront with you. That's some shit I'm never upfront about with anyone. Mm-hmm. And you know, low key already kind of thrown it in my face. I'm like, really? Yeah. You know, but I'm like, I don't know. So like low key, I low-key will run tests on motherfuckers like, all right, well, let's see how you react to this, you know? Yeah. Just to see, and then it's like, you know, failed that, you know what I'm saying? But I
think I'm like awkwardly just like, so I'm more so like, I'm just trying to be like, okay, let me like keep all these feelings inside. So then I'm just like awkward, because when you do that to yourself and you don't allow yourself to be true and express everything that you're saying, it kind of makes for some awkward ass conversations. Yeah. And I used to like thrive off that. Like, yes, like let's talk about everything and share all of our secrets and stuff. And now I'm just like, look, the less I know about you, I mean, you can tell me whatever. Like, I'm pretty good at that. Like, I like to think I'm not over here throwing shit in people's faces, but I'm just like, instead I'm like taking notes now. I'm like, oh, but you said this and now look what you're doing here. Yeah. So what happens is you try to be nice, you try to run this game, okay? Try to be a player, and then all of a sudden, like, someone else's feelings are being hurt. And then what's funny is when you end up getting fucked over. Yeah, right. Like, yeah, totally, yeah. Yeah, and so that's
now I got no hoes again.
And then it's over again.
Now I gotta find new hoes again. But you can always set them up later.
There's plenty.
Yeah, there's plenty, for sure. But there's not,
plenty of fish
the
in
one
the sea.
I want. There's so many, but I want this one.
You gotta figure out what it is that you want.
I just want to fucking, I don't know what I want, you know? You're right. Maybe I should figure that out. But for right now, I just want to be focused on me. I think that's the main thing. It's just like, so like a low key last week or week or two, I kind of fell off with just a little bit, but like, you know, I think it was like consistency fatigue is what I was having. I was just like, dude, I've been going hard for a fucking minute on everything, like 2 months straight. No, like hardly a cheat meal type shit. So like that shit, like low key, I'm like educating myself about fucking fitness and nutrition and shit. And I'm like, dude, there's a lot. Yeah. So like, just like, you know, I allowed myself to have like 3 cheat meals last week or something. And that shit's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And like this week, I think I like missed like 4 days in a row, but I was just listening to my body. Yeah. And I was still getting workout in, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. So
I feel that. But everything we've talked about, I think circles back around to honestly like focusing on you know, and just like really being with yourself and figuring it out. And then after that, I think everything else kind of works itself out. Right. Because we have like, you know, if you're a mess and have all these emotions everywhere, like you're only gonna just then spread that onto someone else and like make that situation messy, which could be something that could potentially be good, but because you don't have your shit together.
Well, like this okay, so this one situation, old girl was like, talking on the phone to somebody, and they like answered the phone right away, like I always do, right? And she's like, "Oh, you got competition?" And I'm like, "Word? Do I?"
Yeah.
Because I don't fucking compete. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, so I had some shit to do, so I had to like go handle that. Didn't want to get into that at the moment.
Yeah.
But maybe I should have, but I didn't really have the fucking time. I had to be somewhere like right now.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to like press it, but then I
right
couldn't fucking help it. I fucking sent the text. I'm like, yeah, whatever, acting brand new. Oh, what, how much can I get? She's like, can I get this, daddy? Whatever. I'm like, go ask my competition. Right?
You gotta have that conversation like face to face too, though.
I know. I'm like, I was trying to do this, but you just had to, you know.
Yeah, but then you can't hold back.
Couldn't hold back.
Yeah. So at that point, pick up the phone and call. Call my phone.
Well, then, but no, I don't want to answer.
I
don't want to answer the phone now because I got competition with answering the fucking phone.
So I can already tell you have feelings involved. So you want to act like you're playing this little game and whatnot, and you probably are, but your feelings are playing along into it too. You know. So what's she gonna do now?
I'm figuring it out.
Yeah.
She's dope.
But I think it's always like all the questions that we're asking and of ourselves, you know, and noticing in other people. That's how it goes. It's just honestly making sure that you're taking care of you, you know,
right.
Because even if it comes to a point where you do care about this person more, it becomes more than just like a game too and stuff. Like it's never really going to flourish unless like you've already put in that work and you feel okay about where you're at. Because in the back of your head, you're just like, I should be focusing on myself, you know? And it's kind of like, I think you brought this up, trading like one addiction for another.
Oh,
you know, one vice for the next.
Damn,
and like,
anything can be an addiction and just lead to the same kind of behavior. Like that's what I'm saying. Like hanging out with this particular person I was not sleeping and fucking I was, you know, neglecting some responsibilities, not necessarily like all the way fucking off, but you know, I wasn't, I was just prioritizing time with them as opposed to.
Been there, you were cupcaking.
Yeah, as opposed to like working or whatever. I'll still hit my gym and stuff, but, you know, still eating good for the most part, but, you know, fell off with some other things.
Yeah.
But also was having a great time.
See. I think too, we're kind of like
balance.
What I think you and I have in common is if we're not doing something productive or something that's going to like help our future self out, like there's this like guilt that sits inside of us.
Yeah. And
then we're just like, why the fuck did I cupcake for the past month? You know what I mean? Like, why would, like I spent all this time with this individual, and then as soon as you get mad at them or as soon as there's a problem that pops off, it's just like, that was a waste of time. You know, but it's never a loss. It's always a lesson. And you have to remember that too.
I don't look at it like that. I feel like I've never looked at it because I can't look at it like that.
Oh, I do.
Because I will fucking, because then there's like 8-10 years, you know, gone.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, what did I learn?
That makes sense.
Like you said, lesson. And even if it's, you know, short time, it's like, I actually look good though, you feel me? So like, you know.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I think you're going to be just fine. And every time we chat, honestly, we getting better and better. I don't know, see no competitor.
Yeah, I'll fuck with that.
Stay tuned, bitch.
Let's go. All right, it's always a pleasure speaking with you.
Of course.
Thanks for being my co-host. Till next time.
Who says?